Welcome back. Time for racing. Sandown Cup. Keith Hillier in Melbourne. Keith, welcome.
Thank you, Bruce.
Good meeting, wasn't it?
It was a fitting finale to our spring carnival with Rod Griffiths, the riding honours. He won the two feature races, the Sandown Cup and the Sandown Guineas. Darren Gauci at treble, and we're going to see more of the winner, Count Shivers, in a new stable next season.
With Lee Freedman. Max Presnell, who's gone back to Sydney. You arrived safely?
Yes, I'm going through withdrawal, though. All that great racing and great company, it's pretty grim back here.
Max, it did seem an above-average Sandown Cup day, I feel. Did you get the same feeling up there?
Oh, yes, a very good Sandown Cup and a very good Sandown Guineas. And just how good is Peep on the Sly? I think he's very good. I think he'd be a worthwhile opponent to the outstanding three-year-olds, Octagonal and Nothing Like a Dane.
Gee, more about him a little later. Interesting about Lee Freedman with Count Shivers. We do have an interview with Lee, and I would think that it's going to be a pretty tough call for him now, because the horse would have copped another kilo or two after winning yesterday, and will probably get more weight because he trains it and not Donnie Selwood.
You think so?
Well, I mean, don't you think?
Poor tough call.
You might be right.
You reckon he's pretty lucky?
Poor Lee getting a horse like Count Shivers.
No,
might get an extra kilo. Oh, bad luck, son. Gay Waterhouse will pick it up in an hour if you want to get rid of it.
I just don't think the horse will be that easy to place. I mean, I really like the horse, but he's got to now make the jump like Doremus will to wait for age. I mean, he's unlikely to win the Melbourne Cup. I think you only get one real chance to win the Melbourne Cup, I think.
I think that improvement will be there, Bruce, because it has been well documented that the horse is a slow maturer. He's going to be so much better next season, but he's a class act, I tell you. Gee, I do regret making that comment earlier in the spring, send him home because he was looking like a scarecrow, but he deceived everyone. While at Ballarat, he put on weight and was turned out yesterday, and he's obviously still improving. If the decision hadn't been made to spell him, then he'd win, like he could go to Perth and stroll in with the Perth Cup.
Yeah, look, he's an exciting horse and he finishes his races off so well. He got a long way back yesterday. The pace was solid. Coachwood took on Double Take, who'd won at Bendigo on the Thursday, and so it ensured a fast pace. And at this stage, Count Shivers is second last and giving them about 30 lengths. He's a good rider, Griffiths, and he bided his time, and the horse came with a great run. Let's go back and listen to Brian Martin's call of the last 7 furlongs.
Tessa, 3/4 further back, Vaudeville Piper, 3 then to Beloco, Seclude, then Toil from Count Shivers, and last of all, Cedo Flarion. Down the back about 18 to 20 lengths from first to last, 1,300 out in the cup, and the leader is Double Take. Double Take nearly a length in front from Coachwood, 2 or 3 Waikika Mukau third, a half on the outside at the halfway mark is Pindy fourth, 3 Cattle and Prince, a half, Bullwinkle sixth, the rail, 3 further back, Yes Indeed, and then our Pompeii, Sharon Tessa, then Beloco out 3 deep around the outside, a Seclude, Vaudeville Piper, Toil is out a little wider, 2 lengths to Count Shivers and 4 to Cedo Flarion. Off the back they race in the cup now and race towards the 950 metre mark. Double Take 3/4 to Coachwood, 3 to Waikika Mukau has had a good run, 3 lengths further back.
You'll notice that Rodney Griffiths will win the race on the home turn on Count Shivers. Saves an enormous amount of ground. He's got a shadow roll. He's got the reddish colours. He's 3 deep, almost at the back now. Makes his run. Just watch now the ground he saves on the turn.
Cedo Flarion, Double Taken on the outside. Waikika Mukau and Coachwood the middle. A length further back, Pindy, Bullwinkle trying to get out, and Yes Indeed further out, coming home well in the straight. 400 out now. Waikika Mukau hit the front. Yes Indeed going after him quickly on the outside. Then Count Shivers, Bullwinkle back behind them. Waikika Mukau at the 200, being tackled by Yes Indeed, and Count Shivers with a run over on the inside. Sharon Tessa, Yes Indeed, Waikika Mukau, Count Shivers levels up, grabs them. The Count will get home in the cup. Count Shivers gets up to win 3/4. Yes Indeed, a neck third Waikika Mukau.
Not too often to horses that have run disappointingly in the Melbourne Cup. I say disappointingly, Yes Indeed, and Count Shivers, probably no luck because of the track conditions, have been able to back up so well in the Sandown Cup.
Well, the stats show that I think 17 out of the last 25 Sandown Cup winners haven't even contested the Melbourne Cup, but we got the Cornella out of it yesterday, and what a difference a year makes our Pompeii, who won it last year, at the tail of the field yesterday.
You like the winner, Max?
Class with a capital C, but the interesting aspect to come out of it, I do think Rod Griffiths learned from the Caulfield Cup ride. He said it was the first experience he had on the horse. As we've mentioned on this show previously, it was a great ride by Damien Oliver that won the Caulfield Cup, but Rod at least learned from that effort, and as you pointed out, saved ground on the turn, allowed Count Shivers to show his true worth, and I think that Lee Freedman will win big races with Count Shivers, regardless of the fact that he might have to carry a kilo or so more.
Well, we could argue about that for a long time. I'm not going to today. Let's go to Rod Griffiths. Craig Willis was out there doing the interviews.
They went good gallop, didn't they? Yeah, very quick. And, you know, I was sort of off the bit and I was happy where I was. You know, I know the way the horse races, and I had a little bit of luck on the corner, and he travelled around the corner nice and went to the line like a very good stayer. So, yeah, it was great.
The horse is going to change stables now, Rod. Do you think he'll retain the ride if the Freedman's taking over?
Well, I hope so. You know, like, you know, Lee will do a great job for the horse, that's for sure. But, you know, I know the horse now, and Damien's got the Remus, so what else does he want?
Not bad, is it?
He made that same line in the presentation speech. Yeah, Damien, you've got the Remus. Leave this one to me.
Richard Wood made the part owner. I mean, he dominated your radio program on 3UZ during the week. You made a lot of headlines. He talking about the plight of New Zealand racing, etc.
Yes, he made some scathing attacks on New Zealand racing, saying it's going out the back door. Look, I don't know whether he's right or wrong. It brought a lot of reaction from New Zealand. But, I mean, if someone says that and means it and backs it up with some stats, some facts, then it's good for racing. It'll probably get them cracking over. I know it has.
Well, Richard Wood was talking to Craig after the win of his horse yesterday.
It's been a heck of a spring carnival for you.
It's been an up and down spring carnival, but I've always had confidence in the horse, and it was just a matter of getting the right track conditions and getting the horse, you know, to his peak, and that's what we've achieved today. It's a big thrill. You know, we'll go on from here, hopefully.
The decision to move the horse to the Freedman stable?
Well, he was never booked to return to New Zealand. We felt because there's a 50% shareholder living here in Melbourne, it seemed only right that he should enjoy some of the horse, and we decided that this time around the horse would stay in Melbourne. So that was the decision was made before we left New Zealand in early September.
And that man, Richard Wood, has $200,000 extra in his pocket now because of that decision.
Yeah, a good one, wasn't it? And Lee Freedman, the man in question who's going to take over the horse, this was his reaction to the win.
Count Shivers has now come into your stable after that win today. You must be looking forward to his arrival.
Oh, very much so. You know, the pressure's on now. The boys from Ballarat have left me with a horse that's just won a Sandown Cup with 57, so no, it's a good challenge. I'm delighted to get him. He's a very good horse, and I have every expectation that, you know, as he gets older, he'll make a very good weight for age horse too.
Rod Griffiths has spoken to Noel Harris about the horse. They both agree he can improve. He's just probably a little immature at this stage. It's hard to say after a win like that.
Yeah, I'd like a few more of mine as immature as him. He went to the line like a seasoned, hardened stayer today. I thought it was a good grinding win, you know. And he's done a great job over here this spring. I just wish I wasn't getting those extra couple of kilos to go with him. But anyway.
What's the program now, Lee?
Oh, he'll go for a spell. Richard's going to take him back to Ballarat tonight, and he'll bring him down on Monday, bring him down to my farm, and we'll settle him in there and give him a break, and then we'll just see, you know, we'll have a bit of a chat about his autumn campaign. I must admit myself, I'd like to be a little easier on him in the autumn because he has had a very big spring and it can flatten them. But I mean, that's something we'll discuss, and I think he'll be a good horse next year. Very good horse.
Actually, Max, it's exciting to think maybe Count Shivers and Doremus at weight for age over 1.5 miles in the Tancred against the weight for age horses like Damewin, etc. It'd be a good little matchup, wouldn't it?
Yes, a very interesting clash, and I just wonder whether Doremus is as good as Count Shivers on top of the ground. Certainly, Count Shivers is inconvenienced in the wet as he showed in the Melbourne Cup. And Keith, what would be your opinion? Had it have been a dry track in the Melbourne Cup, a different race altogether?
Would have been a different race, but the same winner. The same winner. I think Doremus would have won under any conditions. And Lee's got a couple that are still being patched up too, to add to the strength of his staying power, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got a great team, no doubt about that. Look, we're going to take a break, and after this we're going to talk Sandown Guineas. And Max, you might get embarrassed about something we're about to show too a little later. You just hang...
Oh, yes. I'll stay here. I'll wait for it.
Good on you. Back with more in a moment.
I like to know.
He's a good judge, that Keith Hillier. He declared on Radio 3UZ yesterday, Peep on the Sly was the bet of the day, Keith and the Sandown Guineas. Didn't he come with a steaming run?
Oh, he's a terrific 3-year-old, and that's not only speaking through the pocket. There's the favourite, Saintly. He was the one who dipped at the start there, but you're going to see an exciting 3-year-old here, Peep on the Sly. He's trained at the beachside suburb of Melbourne, Dramana, by Bob Maxwell. Now, Bob's 63. This is his first Group 1 winner. He's been offered more than $400,000 for this 3-year-old. He's knocked it back. His connections have knocked it back. Bob's a former bank manager. Now he's laughing all the way to the bank, and he deserves to. This is a great 3-year-old.
He's back behind Saintly at this stage. Max, did you think Saintly did his chances in at the start?
No, not really. I think it was a minor blemish, but I do think Saintly had his chance. I'm still not taking anything away from the potential of Saintly. I think he's a very good racehorse. He'll be better next time in. But by gee, I think the winner is very, very good too. And a fine ride by Rod Griffiths. Knows his horse, got the best out of him, and certainly Peep on the Sly knows where the winning post is, which is an admirable trait in a racehorse.
Max, I think you're right, because I agree with you. Saintly is very good, and that further underlines how good Peep on the Sly is going to be.
Why didn't he didn't run in the Victoria Derby because his dam wasn't
a non-stud book.
Right.
In fact, this 3-year-old's bred from a gift mare.
So, but he can run in the AJC Derby, Max. Am I right?
Yes. And note the way here, Saintly sprints very quick when they cut him loose, when Beedman cuts him loose. But this horse just gets onto his girth and matches strides with him and does better. And look at the way he's hitting the line. By geez, a top-class racehorse. I'd love to see him fitting well against Octagonal and nothing like a Dane. I'm not saying he'd beat him, but by gee, I think he'd make it interesting.
Well, it was interesting you talked about Bob Maxwell, the trainer, because the pressure is mounting. He is over 60. He hasn't had a horse to have won a group race before like this, and this is what he said to Craig about the future of this horse and his future as well as the trainer.
I've heard it said you don't believe in turning out a good horse. What's the program now?
Well, we'll nurse him. Like he won't race, but he still have to be exercised every day, and he'll be out in the paddock at home and looked after.
Got a huge range of options now heading towards the autumn.
I just hope I'm capable of handling the situation. A lot of homework to do, and it's not just a test for the horse, it's a test for me. I think that I'll just try and do the best I can.
Probably down the track you'll be looking at perhaps the Melbourne Cup.
Wouldn't it be wonderful? Yeah, the first thing to do is qualify, and one of the derbies would be, whether it be Adelaide, Sydney or New Zealand, they'll all help.
We'll put him down in our black book anyway. Well done, Bob.
Thanks.
Interesting, isn't it, Keith? You know.
Well, it was, because, I mean, we see so much of Lee Friedman and Peter Hayes and Gay Waterhouse and all the other winning trainers. To see Bob Maxwell, it just shows you that everyone can share in racing, and that was fabulous. I hope he goes on, wins the Melbourne Cup for you, Bob.
Well, speaking of Melbourne Cups, Terry Henderson is with us today with the Melbourne Cup. Terry owns Doremus. We had him on the program 3 weeks ago. Terry's in here because he wrote me a letter during the week and sent me in a tape. Now, Terry, just before we get you to say anything, we might just play this tape. We do apologise for the quality. It's from your home. This is 12 months ago, a week back, Max, Keith and myself about Doremus. Damien Oliver. He was 3 wide because he wanted better going. Now, he's 3 wide on Doremus all the way, like poor old Mick Kinane, who everyone's been bagging.
Don't tell me you're Mick Kinane, man. Don't tell me you're Mick Kinane, man. Really, let's have it.
One of the best riders in the world, without any question.
And he put in one of the worst in the world on Tuesday.
OK, well, let's do not a good trainer. Let's go to this race. Doremus, he hits the front too soon. He's covered a heap of ground. He wins the race and everyone reckons he's a genius.
Well, it's not the ride of a genius at all. But I tell you what...
Had it got beaten, you'd say it was a very poor ride, wouldn't you?
It's yeah, it wasn't a good ride at all, but it's a super horse, Doremus.
A super horse?
It's a very good horse. No, I won't tell you a secret. I don't want you to know that Lee Friedman thinks it's the best horse in the stable. So I won't
can we look at the
better
facts
than Paris
here?
Lane and Mahogany.
Can we look at the facts here now? Potential, potential, Bruce, potential. That beats Cedo Bridge. 2 starts back, Cedo Bridge was beaten in a Group 6 at Geelong. On the face value, you could only say Doremus is an up-and-coming horse, but Doremus has got something special, and I do think he's a horse of...
You're right, Max.
To be honest with you, I agree with you completely. I love the horse.
Yeah, not another one. Gee, he's going to have to be good to carry you.
Well, carry us he did. Terry, none of us picked him in the Melbourne Cup.
Well, I fell off my chair when you didn't, Bruce.
The 3 wise men, and we forgot about it. Thanks for it. Why didn't you bring in a week before the race?
Max, do you remember that conversation?
Vividly, yes. Forget about that three wise men, Terry. I think we know our place in the world, and it's not with the wise men.
Congratulations, by the way, Terry.
Yeah, it's terrific.
A Melbourne Cup winning owner. What about the horse? I mean, Max was saying he thinks Count Chivas is 10 lengths better than Doremus on a dry track.
No, you're taking licence again, Bruce.
No, I know that.
No, he's putting a big rap on Cito Florian as a Melbourne Cup winner, weren't you, Max?
Terry, we're nearly out of... Tell us, Doremus, his future.
Australia Cup. Spring next year, maybe the Cup again, maybe Japan. But we'll have to see if he comes up as a weight for age horse, Bruce.
Thanks for the tape and reminding us. We are
Pleasure.
MUGSs. You're going to Japan tomorrow?
I'm going to Japan tomorrow, Bruce, and reporting for 7 and 3Z. Looking forward to that.
Should be great. And just quickly, Max, Damon, he had a gallop last week. What's the report? Is he going all right?
Bob Thompson is delighted with him and said under the right circumstances you might see an explosion you're not really preparing yourself for, Bruce.
Looking forward to it. Terry, once again, congratulations on the Melbourne Cup, and just destroy that tape, mate. Keith?
I'd just like to get a little closer. This is the closest I'll ever be to the Melbourne Cup. Thanks, Terry.
I think I saw you drinking out of it.
I may have just had a sip.
I don't believe you, Keith. Have a good time in Japan. We'll see you next week. Max, catch you next week. After the break, Scott Miller, one of our great butterflies, looking towards Atlanta.
I've done this all my life, you know, I've been similar my life, and I've got 12 months to go. It's probably the biggest race in my life, and yeah, I'm not going to throw it away right now.